all the extra new choices that they made with some of this stuff. It's really they really like went through it and took their
Yeah.
time with it. You can tell they took their time.
Which I will say, like, I watched the whole thing. It is pretty cool seeing like it's basically almost like the person figuring out they were the problem the whole time.
Yeah.
It's crazy you need to catch up on One Piece in one day.
You can watch it in 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like he had 1,000 screens and you put 1,000 episodes on each episode on one screen. I don't know how you watch that. I'm close though. Sometimes I'll have my laptop open working, and then I'll have my iPad up, and then I'll be watching something on TV, and I'm like, Minority Report, just like screens on
Yeah.
screens on screens. I'm watching this show, and we've been talking about this, and it was anticipated. Both you and I were both, anticipating this show because they had a tease that they were going to be bringing like a lot of the voice actors back in the anime. I don't know. The show starts, and I'm just like,
when it first came out, like they announced. I did watch this in the Japanese sub, and it felt fine. Like I felt like if this would have like came out as an anime like itself in Japanese, I would have been like, yeah, that sounds good.
I was wondering that. I got to go back and listen because I did watch it in the dub or the English, and I was just thinking.
All right, here we go. Scott Pilgrim takes off.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy. Right,
buckle up. We're going to be here for 2 hours. Count us off,
2 hours. In 3, 2, and 1. Hey everybody, welcome back to Anime Me Pod. It's me, Joanne, with my co-host Sal, and we are back at it with some more anime? Question mark?
We out here doing.
We out here?
What is anime really? Honestly, I started watching this show. Let's go off the rails already. Okay, let me tell you this one thing. Anime Me is a podcast where we teach you how to love and watch anime first episode at a time.
First
boom,
time.
Boom, 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 boom. But here's the thing. I was watching another show. I'm at that point, Joe Angel. We're getting there. I'm not
getting there?
Weeb level. You know what I'm saying? Weeb level. I ain't weeb level.
Yeah.
But I find myself kind of like, let's see what my friends are doing over in Japan. And then I went on to somebody else had recommended a show to me, and I was like, well, is that anime? Like, what is?
Yeah. Is it anime? Yeah.
There's this show called Scavenger Rain. It's on HBO. And it is wild. Like, trippy. Like, what the heck? And I'm like watching it, I'm going, well, how much different is this from anime? Like, is this just not like American anime? That's all it is. Just American.
Like, is it? Is it because it wasn't in Japan? Is because
King of the Hill? King of the Hill. Is King of the Hill anime? You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's anime.
I mean, it's anime, bro. Like, come on.
Yes, that's anime.
It's slice of life. It's slice of life. What's the one for older?
It's the Sinin. Yeah.
It's Sinin. Slice of life.
It's food anime, man. You got propane grilling.
Dang it, Bobby. All right. All right. Well, tell them the anime we're watching today.
So the anime in question that we are tackling today is Scott Pilgrim Takes Off.
Okay, so like, is it because I thought it is ish, and I think maybe we don't want to get into it right now because we'll leave that for the facts, but pretty sure there's a comic book that it was all based off of. That's about all I know. Never really seen it. I played there's a video game, a side scroller.
Yeah.
Watched the movie, loved the movie. Edgar Wright,
Yeah.
the best.
Doing it.
I mean, doing it up. I mean, honestly, maybe I'll leave this question for later. No, I'm gonna go ahead and say it now. Is Edgar Wright the greatest? Like, should he just like do all of our live action?
I mean, he like the Scott Pilgrim movie was like one of the best
Really think
adaptations
that's what I'm
when
talking
it
about.
comes to implementing like comic book things because he added the kapows, he added the little video game aspects to it.
Uh-huh.
Like
Uh-huh.
all that he added in was done really well.
Yeah, really well. Almost to the point where I was watching this and I'm just thinking, I'm I need to talk to Joe Angel because maybe he might know. So I got some questions for you, but before I do, let me give us a poorly read synopsis because I can guarantee
Let's
that.
see.
All right. This is the first episode. Scott Pilgrim takes off. Slacker Scott Pilgrim leads a sweet and simple life until sparks fly and ignite total chaos when he meets the rainbow-haired girl of his dreams. Boom. I mean, I'm watching this show and we've been talking about this and it was
Yeah.
anticipated. Both you and I were both, you know, anticipating this show because they had a
Yeah.
tease that they were going to be bringing like a lot of the voice actors back in the anime. I don't know. The
Yeah.
show starts and I'm just like,
They when it first came out, like they announced Scott Pilgrim anime, like when everything dropped.
like, cause they started with the intro and they got the whole music going. It's even
Yeah.
like the song
In
is
Japanese.
Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah. And guess what? They're falling. They're running. They're doing anime open things, right?
Anime
Like
things. Yeah.
they're doing anime things, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what you want to see. And they're done the music and then they have like all the credits start rolling and I go, "Oh, cool. They got, Michael Cera back.
Voice
Oh,
actors.
they
Yeah.
got Brie Larson. Oh, snap." And I'm just like going and going and going. And
Yeah.
it just kept like list after name after name. I'm like, dude, they brought everybody back for this show. Like I'm talking like down to the side characters. I was
Oh
trying to
yeah.
think of somebody on there. I was like, they even got like Chris
Wallace
Evans.
Wells, Matthew Patel, Chris
Yeah.
Evans.
Like
They
freaking
even got young Neil and Nines
yes. I was just
killed.
like, man, they really did this up, and I was stoked about this show. So much so that everything I wrote here, it just says the word love, and then whatever I said after that. Love that. Love this. Love that. Oh, love this. Love that. It's just like I put it. I'll just run through it real quick. Love the typography. Love the choice. I love the Netflix plug, the way they like implemented that in there. I, I love I love I love all the little changes that they made.
Yeah.
Um, I love the art style. Man, I mean, there was just so much stuff in this show that I was just kind of like kept like I
Go
love
agree.
this. I love the movie, and then they started with this show, and I'm just like, okay, so here's the thing. Here's the question I had for you.
Yeah.
Did you
First
read the
question.
con? Did you read the comic?
Yeah. I read
Okay.
all of it.
So you read all of it, right? And then you watched the movie, and then you see the movie, and then you see how they translate the comic to the live action, and they do a pretty good job, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they do this one. So how much are they following? Because are they following? Okay, is this animation? Is this show following the comic book more, or is it following the movie? Is it following,
So that I'll leave till we get to the facts. But I will
Okay.
say, stylistic wise, the way they're drawn is how they look in the comics.
Okay.
Like
All right.
how their design is. That's kind of how the creator drew them in the comics.
Well, yeah, don't spoil it for me. I do wanna know about this. Dude, okay, so they do a lot of little things that are like are straight out of the movie. You go, gosh, even like some of the pacing, some of the timing, some of the smash cutting, um, the zoom ins, just a lot of the stuff is like, oh, this is the movie, but in animation form. But then they kind of they're subtle
take a hard
differences.
turn at the end of the
Oh,
show.
dude, real hard. I was like, I wrote it down, exclamation point, like, what the heck? What is this? What happens in the comic book, or are they just making this up for the show? What is happening? I loved it. So he meets Ramona Flowers. Scott Pilgrim meets her at this party. And just like in the show, in the movie, or the comic, he has this awkward interaction with
Yeah.
her. But in the movie, I remember him
He
talking
talks about
about
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man.
Yeah.
But on the show, he talks about Sonic the Hedgehog,
Sonic the Hedgehog.
which he could have been talking to and rizzing me up, because I'd have been like, Scott Pilgrim, I love you. Okay. I've always thought about this fact about Sonic the Hedgehog, because I grew up in that era of watching both Sonic the Hedgehogs. You
Yeah.
know, I'm old enough to see both of those, and I was watching both of
Yeah.
those, and I go, they look different. They're drawn different. One is serious and one is silly. One of them likes hot dogs and chili dogs, and the other one doesn't ever mention it. But also, they both sound exactly the same. And I think they were voiced by Jaleel White, Steve Urkel from The Family Matters. I was just like, dude, I was like, I hadn't really like looked it up. I hadn't looked it up. I just kind of felt it in my heart. I go, these two Sonics sound the same.
The same, yeah.
Two different networks, two different productions. I was just like, that alone. If you just show that clip as like a trailer for the show, you'd have had probably a billion more people watching.
Yeah. So real quick, Jaleel White, he was the first American voice actor to voice Sonic for the game, but then subsequently he also voiced Sonic in the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, also known as Sonic Sat AM, and Sonic Underground.
So he did the voice of the
he's
video
almost
game
like
too?
he's like the original, he's like the original English Sonic.
He's oh man, that's so cool, dude. I love that, man.
Urkel.
Steve Urkel.
Do that?
Yeah, he did do that. He did do that. He did do that. Hey, and he did that. You know what I'm saying? Stefan Urkel did that, son. Okay, let's see here. Some other stuff I just loved about this. I love that the hand-holding scene when he first. There's so many little details in this show. Like, before I get to that part, it's snowing. They're in Canada. The sound engineering, like these people, the behind the scenes, the way this show sounds is so good. Like you can hear the difference in his footsteps in the snow, from walking from packed in snow to like fresh snow. Like if you're listening for
hear
it,
that
you
crunch.
you can hear the crunch. It's like crunch, crunch, and then pack crunch. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh my gosh, they're going to pay attention to everything in this show. You know it. So, I mean, those kind of details. The hand holding scene when they're like, he's like, they're going through the blizzard and she's like, I can't see anything. She grabs his hand and they kind of float through like time and space, which the movie does a really great job. But then it feels like, oh, this is just straight out of the movie. They're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just like, man, either Edgar Wright really got it right, or this show saw the movie and they were like, let's do it that way, or either it's just straight out of the comic book and they did it that way. And they're like, well, why change any of it? Because it was all done well there. I don't know, man. Let's see here. I did love the Netflix plug. The way they changed that part, because on the movie he's like buying something from Amazon, right?
Yeah, because she works. Yeah, she like works for. I don't think they exclusively say Amazon, but it's a carrier. In Canada, and but since this was like on Netflix, they did the plug-in for Netflix, and they switched that part to when back in the day you ordered Netflix DVDs from
when you used to get Netflix in the mail. You know what I'm saying? Like when Netflix
in the mail, you know what I'm saying? used to get AOL, used to get internet and Netflix in the mail.
You got both of them. You know what I'm saying? It came on a hard disk.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really great, or really smartly written, like, change. Like, like
Yeah.
they could have pigeonholed that any way they could have, or kind of like, you know,
Just
cram
kind of
that
give it
in
like
there.
an updated feeling.
But it also felt good though. Like I felt like, oh, that makes sense because they even they talk about one of the ex-boyfriends, one of her exes is Lucas, was it Lucas?
Lucas Lee.
Lucas Lee. And he's like, "Hey, look up movies." And he asks
Yeah.
uh his roommate,
Wallace.
like, yeah, Wallace, "Hey, what do you want?" He goes, "Look up, what do you say, hot guys?"
Look up hot guys.
Hot
He's all
guys. And he
like,
goes, "I
"There's
think
nothing on
I'm
here."
yeah, yeah." He goes, "I think I need a name."
Yeah.
It was so funny, dude. Like, but the way they do that, it was like, oh, this is seamless. Like, I feel like people are gonna. I'm watching this show, and it's being so well executed that I'm like, are kids or is somebody gonna watch this show first and go like completely backwards, or either
Yeah.
read the comic book, watch the animated show, and then watch the movie
Watch the
in
movie.
that
Yeah.
in that way? Which I probably might go. I'm probably all I have to do is just read the comic book, and I'll go comic or anime
Comic.
and then the comic like completely
Comic.
backwards. Like it's gonna blow my mind because people will go, "Oh yeah, that's just like in the anime," and I'm like, "No, the movie is the original." Listen here, youngster. Let's see here. Oh, I put this down. I don't know if we want to touch this part of it, but whoa, Joey,
Hot
whoa.
and heavy.
Like you just don't. I was just like, okay, so they're drawn the way they're drawn. They're like cartoony. You know, they get this comic book cartoon look to them. And then I'm like, but then they have this near love scene that's kind of like semi hot and heavy. Yeah, I was just thinking like, have I grew up with like uh name all the old Disney movies or name
Oh
any old
yeah,
school
all
cartoon
the
movie, but I'm like, I
yeah
don't think I've ever seen like such a romantic thing go
cartoon.
down in a cartoon form. This is like
Oh man.
some I don't know. I don't
Uh,
know how to describe it. It was kind of melting my brain a little bit because I'm just like,
yeah,
this is like a very intimate, sensual moment that is going on
yeah,
between two, individuals, consenting individuals.
yeah.
And it was just like, oh, this is like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's such a weird like juxtaposition for me to see. This would be like if Bugs Bunny and what was the girl Bugs Bunny Bunny
A Lola bunny.
Lola Bunny. It'd be like Bugs Bunny
Yeah.
and Lola Bunny were like sharing an intimate moment.
Yeah.
I was just like, what? Well, like I watched the movie, so I know the whole thing, and
Yeah.
and I'm not real familiar with all this. Still a noob with all this stuff. I'm sure this
Yeah.
kind of stuff happens all the time in anime, but
I'll say it's
let's
it's
see here.
it's toned down from anime that we've seen that have done
Yeah,
stuff
okay,
like this.
okay, yeah. Well, like they don't do a whole lot of
Fan
the
service
fan
type
service,
stuff.
but I think what it is that like we've seen the fan service stuff and we've seen some things happen in anime, but this was so much more like intimate, I guess you could say. Like intimate in a way that it was like very well grounded. It just feels like, oh, this is something that could happen, like in real life. Not like, like that moment is just like, oh, this is
It's a real moment.
yeah, it's pulled from like
Yeah.
reality as opposed to
Yeah.
like something like in Fire Force where one of the characters trips on a shoe and
Trips.
then yeah, and
Everything
all their
flies
clothes fly.
off.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's ridiculous. Never in my life. Okay, maybe one time in my life have I seen that happen in real life. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. So one of the things that I really loved is this. the behind the scene look of the League of X's. What they call that? What is it
The,
called?
the League of Evil Exes.
League of. I loved that we went behind the wall and we get to see, is it
A little bit
G?
more.
What do they call him?
So Gideon, G-Man Graves, Gideon
G-Man
Graves.
Graves. Yeah. He is the one that's pulling the strings behind all this. And we see him talking to Patel and he has that like layer with
Yeah.
all the TV screens and
All the
he's
screen spots.
yeah,
If
like
you've ever needed to catch up on One Piece, go to Gideon's Graves Evil Layer. He's got all the screens you need to catch up on One Piece in one day.
you can watch it in 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like he had 1,000 screens and you put 1,000 episodes each episode on one screen. I don't know how you watch that. I'm close though. Sometimes I'll have my laptop open working, and then I'll have my iPad up, and then I'll be watching something on TV, and I'm like
Yeah.
Minority Report, just like screens on
Yeah.
screens on screens, bro. But 1,000 screens, it's a little overkill.
Not much.
Let's see here. There are just like a lot of little things that kind of happen in the show that, like, it's all the first movie, except for with some things that are like just a little bit different, and also like good though. Like they're just like,
Yeah.
okay, I like that choice. Like there wasn't anything that I watched in the show that I go, oh, why'd they do that? The only thing I didn't like is that Crash and the boys, they weren't there. Crash and the boys weren't
Like,
there, bro. Like they
man, they're
bailed on the
like one of the
show.
most. That's what I was like expecting to see. I was like, oh, I can't wait to see Crash and the Boys. Like,
And
and then it's
they
like,
they
uh, couldn't do it.
I wonder if
So
it was like one of them like voice actor things, like they couldn't get them together again and have them there doing the
yeah,
thing or
they
something.
actually crashed out.
Yeah. Crash and the boys crashed, man. They were gone. That was the only part I missed. Also, yeah, and I guess they changed it from a Battle of the Bands because wasn't that supposed to be like a Battle of the Bands concert? But this one, in
Yeah, it was
this,
like
they
because the
spells out.
whole thing was like they're kind of going towards that, or like it was like a whole thing. Crash and the Boys, I guess, was like their first opponent, and but we didn't
Yeah,
get
yeah.
Crash or the
So
Boys.
it makes me wonder how this is, especially with the way it ends. I don't know if I want to say how it ended because I want people to watch this because I'm even intrigued.
Mind blowing.
My mind was blown. I was just like, okay, so then what happens? And did this happen in the comic book? And so it's different for the movie. For them to get the entire comic book into a movie, they have to like take out some stuff, of course, to make it all kind of
Yeah,
easy for us to kind of, and I don't know, it
go
just
through, digest.
digest, yeah, to have it kind of flow as
Yeah,
I don't remember how long the movie, like a 2 hour movie, and they have to
yeah.
make it this certain way. All of that to say, I could, just wax poetic about this whole thing. It is so good. There are, I was not expecting it to be this good. I loved all the voice actors are doing it. I loved some of the new choices. I love some of the new jokes. Some of the new takes on some of the stuff. It wasn't like, it felt like it feels really familiar, but then it also is like,
Yeah.
oh, well, that also they are doing some other little,
Some other things. Yeah,
and they're expanding some of it. Like when they had that conversation with Patel, or when G has a conversation with Patel in his lair, he shows his awkwardness in that conversation, and they have that kind of awkward conversation in public, at the fight that he has with Scott.
yeah.
And you go, oh, okay, like this is like they're giving us more of the character.
That was another thing they changed too, because in the movie, they show him reading the email
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
computer and he deletes it. But in the anime, in the show, he gets an actual letter. And so when Matthew comes in to Scott Pilgrim, they have their whole exchange. He's all like, "Did you get my letter?" He's all like, "Uh." He's like, "Didn't you read it?" He's like, Kinda.
Yeah, he goes, I hand delivered it in a blizzard.
Yeah.
That's good. Oh man, yeah, his choices like that were so good. You know, Ramona and Knives and his sister and all the interaction there and all the, like all of them they're all like they're hitting all the beats that you just loved. The only thing I wish that they had done the joke, and I guess maybe it was just the movie is so much better in a joke. But Scott's reading that, going back to that email. He's reading the email, and he's like blah 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 blah. And he looks like he's like intent about it. He goes, "Oh no, this is boring. This is like he takes the turn on it.
Boring.
Yeah. Delete. I love that joke. That was a great joke. And I was like, are they going to do that for the letter? Because I was waiting for him to go, this is, oh my gosh, this is boring. Like he didn't do that. They just kind of like, whatever. They kind of threw it away, but they missed that part of it. I love that joke in that movie so much. But
it's so good.
Gosh, there's so much more I could say about this thing, but I think
say the music too. Like the song they're singing is different too.
And it's so good
like,
too.
It's a whole new song. Yeah.
It's a whole new song and it's good. And once again, like this garage band kind of grunge, they nail, they really get this kind of like garage band feel from them, like it's not perfect. You can hear Michael Cera singing like the harmony or like some of the background vocals, and it's actually him. I could tell it's him. And it really helps, set a tone, set the grittiness of it, they didn't leave any stone unturned in executing this. And I'm here for it, my bro.
I'm here for it.
Well, you know what else? Here's what we're here for. You know what else we're here for before we get into the facts? Because you're about to give us some facts, right?
Oh, yeah, all the facts.
But before we do, let's play a little game. A little game called Say What?
Say what? What did he say?
What did he say?
Hey.
This is Say What? Well, I'm going to give you a quote. And I'll give you a quote. There's no way you're going to get it. But I'll give you a couple seconds just in case somebody could get it. Yeah. If a listener is listening, they know what the quote is and they know where it's from. I want you to tell me what anime it's from. If it's not, I got 3 animes that you could choose from, and I'll give you that if you need it. You ready for this?
Let's go.
This is Anime Me. Say what?
Say what?
All right. Our quote is very short. It's a very short quote.
The short one. Hi.
Almost you said it. The quote is the muffin button.
More time. Oh, that's the Dragon Ball Z Abridged Christmas special.
Snap. You got it immediately. You didn't even give me a chance.
I know that one for sure.
You didn't give a chance for the listeners to even. The muffin button. What? I don't even
never forget about the muffin button.
What was that in context to? Do you have any idea what he was talking about?
I think so. I think what it was is because I know going back to, because like I said, Team 4-Star, he did Dragon Ball Z Bridge, all the hilarious stuff that had quotes and stuff. I think it was on one of the commentary series, they talked about it. And I think the idea behind the muffin button was that in order to feed like soldiers and stuff, to like make sure they could eat, like I think especially in Frieza's army, they figured out that muffins were like the best source of, I guess, their food. And so they just had a muffin button implemented on the ship and stuff.
Okay. So if it's a big part of it, it's kind of part of the plot or part of the story. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you got it. Now, Joe Angel, hit me with them facts about this show, because we could talk about this for the next 2 hours.
With them facts, guys. So Scott Pilgrim versus the world. Scott Pilgrim's the anime. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. Precious Little Life. All these titles all started as a graphic novel that came out in August of 2004.
Now it was written. help me before you get into this. What is the difference between a comic book and a graphic novel? Do you have any idea? Is there a difference
So
between?
I think it's either the way the story is structured or the format. Because, like in comic books here in America, they're like magazine almost. They're kind
Yeah,
of had that
they're one
laminate feel,
issue,
kind of, yeah, one
like
issue
at a
type thing.
time.
I think graphic novels are more the compact kind of paperback, which
And
is
it's the whole
what
thing
Scott
too, right?
Pilgrim. If they come in like in volumes. So like
Okay.
for Scott Pilgrim, there's 6 volumes, and they're all in the paperback kind of format. But instead of being so like in manga, the format you read it right to left. Scott Pilgrim's still left to right, so you still read it the American way. Versus as in Japan on manga, you read it the other way. But all that came out August 2004, and it was written and illustrated by Brian Lee O'Malley. So he is the creator of Scott Pilgrim.
Is he Canadian?
He is Canadian. Yeah,
He's
yeah,
got to
he's
be
from Canada. I
Canadian.
think. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, because isn't Michael Cera Canadian too? I
yeah.
feel like he just
I
gives
think
Canadian
so.
vibes. Perfect casting.
I'm not
I
sure.
mean, that's
Yeah,
what makes it all perfect. If he is Canadian, then it's
yeah,
just like it works all out
yeah.
so well.
I think so. Yeah, like I said, the manga, like the way he drew him, is kind of the way the show depicts them. So that's kind of how he drew him. In the comic books, I know in the first issue, he actually had it to where so they're doing the first song, I think, in the movie. In the comic book, he actually has like a chord chart. Like he actually gives the chords for how to play the song in
Oh,
like
so
the
you could
first volume.
actually play their actual
Yeah, so
song
you
that
got
they
to
play.
play along with it, and he has like the little chord chart to how you have to hold the chord and stuff
Yeah,
on
I
there.
love that. I love that
And
as a
it's so
detail.
cool. Yeah. Um, yeah, and so the movie came out in 2010. So it went comic book, live action, and then the anime, which came out in November of 2023. Hang on. Yeah.
2010, so almost 13 years later.
Almost 13 years later.
You know, I
Got an
could kind of
anime.
tell Michael Cera has a little bit of a lower voice, and so he's trying to like,
Yeah, he grew up. He finally hit
it,
puberty.
yeah, he was he was the same age for 10 years, and
For 10 years.
then 2020 happened, and he grew up. We all grew up in 2020. We know what happened.
It was that slap from Rihanna he got in the end.
And this is the end. Yeah,
This is the
yeah, that's good. That's good.
slap the
Uh,
man into that boy.
Slap the man in him.
uh, but so all that to say, so yeah, the movie came out. When the show got announced, they did have all the original cast come back to reprise their roles. So
Dude,
everybody from the movie came back. I will
that's
say
so
the
cool.
only additions to the voices will be Scott's younger version and his older version. So there's you'll see Scott because they're gonna show you go through Scott Pilgrim's life and his past and stuff because it's all about evil exes going to the past. Finn Wolfhard
Hmm.
voices young Scott.
That's a good casting.
And yeah. And then let me see. I know I wrote it down somewhere.
This
Gosh,
is the
handwriting's
only
terrible.
time when you're looking for this. I'm gonna say talk about this stuff right here.
Yeah.
This is the only time. Like I have some. I see it and I don't. I go back and forth on this. But voice actors who are voice actors doing it up and like doing like a great job is like where it's at. And then but I'm
Yeah.
also, and I'm not really here for celebrities who are,
Voice acting.
yeah, because you're just like,
Yeah.
you're just taking a job away from somebody who has made their livelihood on being a voice actor, and you are
Yeah.
just an actor, and
Yeah.
that's fine and all,
Like
but
you know they're just getting you for your name because of who you are.
Exactly. You know what? We want you to play Mario because you are, a big name, and we
Yeah,
want you to
you're the hot
play
guy
the
right
Lego
now.
guy. Yeah, yeah. Like we want you to play every character we can think of because, and we'll just use your name and kind of ride that. And you have the talent, the chops to do it. But like I get it. I get it as a marketing standpoint. You want to get all the voice actors back. This one is an exception because they made the movie and we want
Yeah.
those voices back. Like I
Yeah.
don't know if
Oh
I could
yeah. You
watch
get used
this,
to it. Yeah.
right? Could you have watched this and it be completely different voices? Maybe,
Maybe I probably tolerate
maybe.
it.
Yeah, but
Don't
you'd be
know if I
missing
would have
it.
liked it. Yeah.
It wouldn't
Yeah. It'd be
be
missing it.
it would not be this level. All right, go ahead.
Nah. So Real Forte voices older Scott in
Oh,
the series.
snap. I freaking love Will Forte. Okay, there's a guy who's like voice actor. Like
Yeah.
forget what I said just now.
Voice actor level. And so I'm trying to think because I know. So we do. Where, so I think Weird Al is the narrator voice. I
Dude, they
think.
are hitting home runs with these voices.
Trying to
Once
think.
again,
Want to say he does the narrator
they're
or
making
the
me
announcer. He does some narration in this show.
they're making me eat my words just now. I just said all this stuff about voice actors, but then I'm going, oh, Weird Al and Will Forte. I mean,
Oh
but come
yeah.
on.
Oh,
Come on,
lovely.
come on.
Yeah, yeah. Come on.
Completely
Completely.
like completely 180, Forget what I just said. I hate voice actors. Let's do
Scratch
actor
that.
voices. Scratch that, reverse it. Let's do it.
Oh, so so all this to say, so when the anime uh got brought up, so it was so Jared LaBeouf back in 20, I believe 18, uh got in contact with Edgar Wright about doing a Scout Pilgrim kind of anime. And so since Edgar was a director and stuff, a year later, they both reached out to O'Malley, the creator, in 2019 about, getting a story about the idea about having because the studio that animated the whole series was Science Saru. Yeah, Science Saru, which is a Japanese studio, which is the studio that animated Dantaran. So you got
I
Dantaran level on this. So,
oh
or the
man,
studio that worked on that one did this.
like you could see the movements that they have in some of this stuff was like, they do this thing in Dandadan that I love, and they do it a lot of anime, but I think they really do it really well in Dandadan. Is this like they go from regular to anamorphic to panoramic to like fisheye
Yeah,
lens, like
yeah,
stretching, and like the camera the character
yeah.
moves and
The
they kind
weird
of
angles
yeah,
and
yeah, and they do that really well. And so you could see that in this anime especially in the fight scenes and some of the movements that when he's running or any of that kind of stuff. I love
yeah,
that, dude. That's cool. That's a good detail.
yeah. And so at first Brian Lee, at first O'Malley wasn't really into it because he didn't necessarily want to rehash the story. Like they already did the movie. He didn't have anything new. So
Yeah.
for a while there, he was kind of iffy about whether or not wanted to even do it or work on it. And then he came back a while later with co-writer Ben David Garbinski, and they had a whole new story. So going to the ending, the way the first episode ending, they kind of changed it up to an alternate version where Scott loses the first fight.
Mhm.
And so we're going to be following Ramona through the rest of the story on the show.
Excuse me, sir?
What?
Oh, what are you
So
saying?
What?
How dare you,
How dare?
and how
How
dare
dare?
them, and how dare everybody? Like, what the heck are you talking about? What are you, this
Yeah,
is not, is Scott Pilgrim takes off. He takes
yeah.
off. Is that what
He
happens?
takes
That's what
off,
they
bro.
mean by takes.
That's what
Oh
happened.
my gosh, he takes off. He's gonna just take off literally he takes off. Dang it. It was in the title the whole time.
the whole time,
That's
right in your
funny.
face.
I do get that though, because like there are some
Yeah,
things like people are Hollywood, are they're remaking things or they're revisiting stuff,
yeah.
and you just go, leave that alone. It's good enough
Like, how
where it
many times
was.
can you
We love
redo
it.
this?
Yeah, why do we need to keep redoing it? It was great already. But this is a different take on it, and it makes sense. If they do have a new story, then yes. But also,
Which I do like it too.
how
I'm not
dare
gonna
they?
lie. I watched the whole thing because it's only eight episodes
Okay.
long.
And they're
So
all like, that one, that first
yeah,
episode, so they're all 30 minutes or less,
yeah,
24 minutes, 25 minutes
yeah.
long.
Because I do like it too because at least so in the show they do bring in some more aspects from the comic book that weren't in the movie.
Mhm.
Like there's some stuff in there that reading the comic and then watching the movie, it's like I kind of wish they would have had at least this part in there, or stuff like that. But it's like almost like he uses as a chance to bring some stuff that didn't get into the movie into the animation.
That's cool. I like all the extra new choices that they made with some of this stuff. It's really they really like went through it and took their
Yeah.
time with it. You can tell they took their time.
Which I will say, like, I watched the whole thing. It is pretty cool seeing like it's basically almost like the person figuring out they were the problem the whole time
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
versus
yeah.
as the other people were the problem.
I like
That's what I
that.
kind of felt like watching this, since it's being about Ramona and a lot of it is her evil exes. Because even in the movie, it's all like she was the one to break everything off first.
Yeah, and she
So it's
was the
like
common
this
denominator.
gives that's yeah, and this show gives a chance of like seeing her like, you know what, this has been kind of I've been the one doing all the breaking up and stuff, so maybe I'm the common denominator. And seeing like her work through that of like, well, maybe it is me or something like
That's
that.
cool. I like that. I like that. That is an interesting and risky move for them to kind of uh reimagine the story. Because I'm trying to think if there was something else that we watched, and I was just thinking like this is the same story, but it was a departure as opposed to a complete remake. Um, and sometimes if it's not well executed, then you just kind of go, well, I don't want to see the first, like, why keep making the same thing over and over again? Like
Yeah.
we saw the same thing. Like give me something, give me a new take on this. And you
How
say
many
that you
times
want
can
that.
you remake the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Let's have Hitler get killed.
Yeah,
Okay, let's have him
yeah,
get shot up in the, like
yeah,
let's have America winning that immediately. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like that kind of spin and twist is it's a risk, but if it's done well, it pays off, and that's what I'm hoping for the rest of this show. So
yeah. So, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much a lot of facts. I will say the director, so Edgar Wright stayed on as an executive producer. Uh, Brian Lee O'Malley, the original creator, stayed on as a writer, and then they had director Abel Gongara. So
Mhm.
he was the director for the show, and he's also set to co-direct season 2 of Downton.
Oh snap!
So
Well, I guess I need to see the rest of this show to figure out if that next season is gonna
see,
be.
like whenever season 2 starts, see, oh hey, that's it. I remember
Hey,
this.
okay, he's doing a
Okay.
good job. He's doing a good job. Let's hope so. Uh, let's see here.
Uh,
I did play the video game, by the
yeah, the
way.
side scrolling game.
is this little, it's a beat 'em up. It's a beat 'em up. You
Yeah.
could take 4 players and it's a couch co-op and you just kind of run around punching things.
Yeah.
A little monotonous. You kind of are running the same characters, just hitting the same button, but it's fun. So
Yeah.
I
It's
did
a little
play.
fun game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. So,
Yeah. All
uh,
right. Well,
what else you
that's
got me?
about
That's
it.
it, huh? That's about
That's
it.
about
I
it.
mean,
Guac talking it.
let's guac talk this. Let's guac talk this. I mean, you heard me
Because
kind of.
so going back to the anime awards, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is on the Crunchyroll list
What?
for I think best romance or romance story.
Oh, interesting.
So
But
this
then,
gets into the question of like, so what really makes anime? Because it's obviously it's on the Crunchyroll list. It's
yeah,
done. It's animated by a Japanese animation studio who does other anime, and but this is like one of those things where I think since it came out in America and seems like such an American product,
yeah,
it's kind of like I think that's probably what people who call it not an anime lean towards because of like a lot of it came out in America first versus that's coming straight from Japan.
yeah. That is an interesting. Yeah, like what would it? Yeah, how would you? I mean, anime. What short for animation, right? I
Animation,
mean,
yeah,
it's just animation,
yeah,
animation. Like so. What really makes anime
yeah. Anime. I mean, there's other anime that get made elsewhere, uh
well
like
and
with the Star Wars stuff.
Mhm.
They had a bunch of different animation studios from all over the world. Um,
and
the
also they don't get their due, honestly. Like
nah, they
who
do.
where do they where those people that work on that stuff and do all those kind of
Yeah,
things? I mean, I guess you could get your, you don't get your fair shake with like the Oscars or, any of
yeah,
the, other awards, BAFTA or anything like that, because those are usually dominated by live action things. Is there like an animation award? The anime awards should be like all animation because there are
yeah,
some things that are coming out that are like, I mean, like that Scavenger Range show that I'm watching
yeah.
is
Really good.
so well done. Like I highly recommend it. It is wild. And so like I go, this is just another I'm watching it thinking like this is probably just anime. And it's like, well, I don't know if it is or not. I don't know, what keeps it from being anime. I'm watching another show called Common Side Effects. It's a Mike Judge show who like also he did King of the Hill, and he's
Yeah,
doing this show, and it's
the
also
best anime right there. King of
yeah,
the
you know.
Hill.
I watched that. There was a. Did you watch the little like? There was
uh, uh,
a an
it was
Instagram
the
reel. It was an Instagram. They call
yes,
him
the intro
propane. What's it called? Like
propane
propane.
Evangelion or something.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was a propane
Evangelion, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's something hilarious. So like, yeah, I mean, it kind of is just a slice of life anime, I mean,
But I
I don't
mean,
know. I'm gonna keep
even go
watching.
to like style too, like
Hmm.
drawing wise, like
Hmm.
because there's other animes we watched that didn't really follow that style. Like Cowboy Bebop was one. It
Yeah.
didn't really. It had more of an anatomically correct drawing style. There was what was the other one? The
I mean,
Did
Shin-Chan,
I say Ajin?
yeah,
Ajin was kind
Ajin,
of the same
it's
thing.
just 3D.
It's
Shin-Chan is just
3D
like a little cartoon.
cartoon, like cartoons, like
Yeah, like straight up,
so.
so
It's like you can't really say there's a certain style because there's other stuff that people call anime that doesn't follow that style.
yeah,
So
exactly. So it could be, whatever you want, honestly. And whenever we come out with two piece, be prepared for AI to just take
yeah,
just
take it over.
AI just just draw something anime and it would just
Yeah,
done. Done.
anime
Speaking of
needs some
done.
chicken.
Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that. And if you want to see that, keep listening.
Yeah,
All right, let's guac talk this. You can already tell
It's
that
quite.
I love this
Yeah.
show. You could already tell that Joe Angel, you love this show. I'm all about this kind of I'm all about this world, you know. I love there's so many different characters. I think that's the thing about Scott Pilgrim. You know, I was showing someone else the movie and they kind of were and weren't into it. They were like, whatever, big deal. Like, and they asked me, well, why do you enjoy this so much? And I just feel, and maybe it's just me, but the characters, there are some things about these characters that feel so, I don't know, relatable or just, but like a little heightened. There's just like I was in a garage band. I was once this aloof Scott Pilgrim kind of in relationships
Okay.
and
Yeah.
not being my best, you know, not being my best self. And you know, like, and that's what
Yeah.
it is. The Scott Pilgrim is about him like, you know, learning and wanting to, you know, like having to try to be better, but also like just kind of growing up uh in a relationship while doing it all. You can't just like, you know, like every life is going to continue to happen and you're going to try to make corrections and you're going to fail and you're going to like, you know. And so like all of that kind of stuff happens in this show and it's really, or in the movie, in these comic books, it's just like so relatable and it's so well executed.
You live and you learn,
You live, you learn, you
and you learn.
love. And I love this show. I mean, it just really is top to bottom, T to B, a success for me. You know, the fact that it feels nostalgic, it feels familiar, but then also it's a new twist and a new, you know, kind of take on the whole
It's like,
thing. I'm here for it.
yeah, yeah.
It's
It's
like,
like it is like I did love Scott Pilgrim growing when it came out, the comic books, the movie, found the show was coming out. Love that. Watched the whole thing. Said I like the story. I like seeing that different side of it. Um, because it's like one of those things. Because it's the two sides to every story, like almost. Because you see her Ramona's side of like, all right, now she's got to figure out her stuff. Because we saw Scott figure out his stuff, so now like, the show is a chance to see Ramona figure out her stuff on the other side. And going through the whole show, watching it complete story wise, it was well done, really good. Still kept all the same kind of like jokes, the witty remarks, like one liners and everything. Being
the
able to hear
vibe.
all the voice actors and stuff, the vibe of it. I did watch this in the Japanese sub, and it felt fine. Like I felt like
Really? I
if
was,
this would have like came out as an anime like itself in
yeah.
Japanese, I would have been like, yeah, that sounds good.
I was wondering that I got to go back and listen because I did watch it in the dub or the English, and I was just thinking like, well, of course it's in the English, and why would I even look to see? Because this is the original language that they're gonna release this in. But then
Yeah,
I thought about it. I was like, well, but they gotta have a Japanese.
Japanese or dubbed. Yeah,
That's wild. That is, yeah. I wonder how these how because you know, like here's the thing. Like when we talk about like sub and dub and the departure between the two of them, generally speaking, the tone is gonna be hard to match
yeah.
from both sides and also translation. And we might lose some parts in that. And so that's the problem that happens between sub and dub. And if we can kind of catch that, then you're doing just fine. You know, like there are certain
Yeah.
shows that I feel like, and you and I know you don't want to say it out loud, but sometimes the dub is all right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I gotta go check it out because I want to hear how they do some of these
Yeah,
voices. That's because
yeah. Like I
for
said,
me,
like
those voices are
it
kind of
matches.
yeah.
I mean, tone wise and everything. Like Ramona's tone felt fine. Scott's tone felt fine. Like getting that reverse side of like seeing something in English first and then going to watch Japanese, especially for something like this. Like I said, it was pretty good. And they have like a lot. I think there's like a Spanish, Portugal. They had like a lot of other dubs too.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's
Uh,
come from Netflix. It's
all
got
the
to.
yeah, have
All
all
right.
that
Well,
stuff.
all that to be said, I'm gonna go ahead and give this 1 out of 5
How many evil exes are you fighting?
Yeah, how many evil exes will I fight? 1 out of 5. How many did she have? 7?
Yeah, 7. 1 out of 7. How many evil exes are you gonna fight? 1 through 7.
Okay. I will have to give this. I'll have to give this. I'm gonna have to give it a 7. Honestly, from the beginning to the end, and maybe it's just a nostalgic factor for me, and I can't get over that.
Yeah.
Like I can't like sidestep that because it's so.
Yeah.
I watched the movie way too many times, and I've preached the gospel of Scott Pilgrim versus the World to so many people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Edgar Wright. Like I've watched Baby Driver. I don't know if you've ever watched Baby Driver, but it was
Yeah.
in all his other stuff, Hot Fuzz and
Yeah.
all the other stuff he's done with Simon Pegg. It's just like all of those, everything that he does, I'm just like in love with. So it's kind of hard for me to, separate myself from that and to not give this a 7 because it's just like everything he does and the way he executed that movie is just
so good.
It's so good. Stylistically, you just go, everybody else take note. Other directors, watch how he did this and do exactly as he does. Because
they need to teach this in school of how to do a live action.
Yeah. Get on it, Japan. Like they're all about school and figuring out this stuff. Like if you see it in the anime, this is how you make it look good in a movie. That's how it goes from manga to movie. Like make it right. Where are you at on this? Do you have a different rating since you've seen the whole thing? 1 to 7.
Yeah, I'm 1 to 7. 7. Yeah.
7. Yeah.
I give it 7
it's the same thing for you, right?
I did also find myself like quoting from the movie throughout the show at certain points. Like, cause I just like, even just from that first intro, it is pretty much kind of quicker. It's about probably, what did we say, 15 minutes into the movie, maybe? Where the show picks up because he's already dreaming about Ramona.
Yeah.
They go through the whole subspace highway. But like when it started, I just like went through the intro in my head in the mysterious land of Toronto, Canada. Scott Pilgrim was dating a high schooler. Like I went through that whole opening sequence in my head.
Yeah. It was like, oh well, I already know where we are, baby. You don't even. I'll just.
You don't even have to know.
I'll narrate.
Which I think that's probably why they did it. Why they started it that way, because they're like, everybody know. They all know.
You know what it is.
Let's just get into it.
Yeah. I mean, just get DJ Khaled in there and be like, "We the best movie,
best music."
They already know.
They already know. No, and let us know how much you like this version of Scott Pilgrim, the anime. Let us know if you would call it an anime in the comments, guys. Let's get this thing right, because you have one side that said it's not. You got Crunchyroll saying, "Hey, is this the best romance anime of this year?"
Hard to argue.
What are we gonna call this, man? It's hard to argue, man. Hard to argue against that. But let us know what you think down in those comments. And while you're there, drop a like, drop those 5 stars, drop us some love, drop us some recommendations too on other stuff that you would think is anime that other people don't consider as anime. Because depending on what we call it, guys, there's a lot of stuff out there. And we want to know what you think about that stuff. And we want to know what you think about us. So let's go to Anime Meat Pod. Or go to our website, anime-media.com, where you can find the list of all of our episodes, where you can find the links to all of our socials and podcast platforms, and where you can buy your own Anime Me shirt, y'all. Because we got some special stuff coming out you want to stick around for.
That's all we're going to say. Let's just say,
do
you like chicken? The end. All right.
Do you like chicken? The end, guys. And that is the end of our show, guys. And we will see you on the next one. Peace.
これはアニメミーでした。これから帰国の旅を始めます。ご清聴ありがとうございました。
You know,
he back at
I,
it.
like I don't know if anybody can ever surely I hope nobody says anything about how we watch a 4-minute anime and then we go on about an hour about it.
Talk about it for an hour.
For an hour, dude, an hour for like 4 minutes. He did nothing. You know, it
Hey, it's
is
just it
is
is
what
what
it
it
is.
is.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's how you know anime can do it, man. Because it's
yeah,
like you can take something that small and extend it big time.
yeah, like there's some. I think that's what they're wanting. They're creating art so that
Yeah,
there can be a dialogue,
yeah.
and we can all kind of relate in some way, and that's what we doing here.
Everybody knows, man. You grow up poor, man. You learn how to stretch something out real good.
That's we
That's
put a
all
little
that
water
is.
in put a little water in the ketchup, baby, and just shake it up.
Shake it up.
That ranch, hey, ranch, there ain't nothing wrong with put a little water in the ranch, bro. I mean, it's
It's just water. It ain't gonna
saucy.
hurt you.
Yeah, come on now. There you go. It won't hurt. A little water and everything. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're doing. Put a little water on this anime and make it extend the life.
Make it
By
last.
the way, you were saying something about their the whole anime awards.
Yes.
One of the things that we didn't talk about was the that they have like a main character and then like
Yeah. Oh yeah. Had main character and best supporting
and
character.
supporting character, and I go,
Yeah.
that's a interesting um category. I'd never really thought about like
The best side
animes
character.
and the characters, like how they're gonna give
Yeah.
awards for, oh well, we everybody loves this character.
Well, even like in the mangas and stuff, when they're coming out, like in Shonen Jump, they'll have like popularity contests, and people can vote in like who their favorite character in that manga is or in the anime, and then like they'll come out with the results, and then it would be like, oh, this character is number one, all the way down to like 15, 20.
That's crazy.
Whoever's on the list. Yeah.
Did you look through that list? I hadn't actually looked through the list.
I know there's Kafka,
Of
Momo, uh, Okarun,
course.
Sung Jin Woo,
Yeah.
what's her name? The main girl for Perrin. She was in there. Who else? The main characters. There's some other main characters. Remember, I know on I know supporting characters. It was Turbo Granny. She was on that list too.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Turbo Granny and Psycho, Momo's grandma. Yeah, Dandadan was all over that list. Like all
I
over
could
everywhere.
imagine.
It's like Dandadan, Ferdinand, like they're like almost on every category.
They have a voice actor like
Yes,
award.
they did. They did have a voice actor award. Again, it was Momo's voice actor, Okun's voice actor, Sung Jun's voice actors, some other actors. What were the other categories? Was that comedy, best drama, the best action scene, best animation,
Oh, film of the year, best score,
film of the year? Yeah,
best
best
anime
score,
song. Which, by the way, I want to.
opening. Yeah,
I need to like. Oh yeah. So see, that's the thing. Like, they have both. They have both. Oh no, this is best opening sequence, best ending sequence.
yeah, the best opening.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then best anime song.
Yeah,
It's
best
I mean, there's
score.
a.
Yeah,
Uh, this one kind of cracked me up. Must protect at all costs character.
yeah, that one.
I'm trying to think.
The one you must protect at all costs.
I don't
Like no matter what
know.
happens, he have to protect that character.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm looking at it. I only notice because I haven't seen some of these animes, so I wouldn't know about some of these. But Okarun is on there though, so.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I was just thinking like these are very interesting. I love some of these categories. Best background art, like that's cool.
Oh yeah, background art, best love story or best romance.
Best character design, best animation, Okay, best voice artist
Best
performance in
Slice
English.
of Life was on there. In
So
English, yeah, they had dubbed in English. Yeah.
They had the dub and the English. Okay, I want to just see this real quick. Just,
I think Sanjay Moon's voice actor is on there, right? His the English one.
Yeah, he is. Oh, wait. Yeah. Is that his name? Alex Lay?
Yes, I
I think
think so.
it is. And then AJ Beckles. I guess that means that's from Don to Don, but I don't know who I guess is that Okudun or
Yeah, that's okay.
probably is. That's interesting. Yeah, so they got some free runs all over this.
Free Reign, Don Don, that Delicious in a Dungeon.
Have you heard of
I've
this
seen.
show? Have you watched any of that? I heard it's kind
I
of
haven't watched it. Like
ridiculous.
I saw it on Netflix. I was all like, oh, okay. And then I saw it on the list. I was all like, oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah, the fact that it's like a Netflix show and it's on here is kind of, I mean, that's cool. It's cool that because I don't think it's on Crunchyroll.
I don't think so either. Like I've seen it many on Netflix.
All right. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that.